Hey everyone, and welcome to the NOSR Webs podcast. Buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the world of YouTube controversy.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, you might think you've seen it all, but trust me.
Oh, yeah.
We're about to spill the tea.
No, absolutely.
The numbers, the drama, the whole shebang.
Your receipts.
We've got it all, but before we get started,
Yes.
don't forget to check out those awesome offers down in the description below.
You are not going to want to miss this.
All right, so we're talking Logan Paul PewDiePie, YouTube Rewind.
The moments that
just broke the internet.
Yeah, they define.
Maybe it even made you question humanity just a little bit.
Just a little.
But let's set the stage a little bit, right?
Yeah.
YouTube, it started as a place to share funny cat videos.
Right.
Maybe that epic fail of your friend trying to skateboard.
And now look at it.
Now it's this global phenomenon.
It's huge.
Breeding ground for creativity.
Absolutely.
And let's be honest, some serious train wrecks.
Oh, yeah, we're here for the train wrecks.
Oh, we're here for the train wrecks.
That's why we're all here.
And those train wrecks, they're more than just internet gossip. You know what I mean?
So much more.
They tell us so much about influencer culture, how these platforms are trying to handle responsibility or not handle responsibility.
Right, and sometimes failing miserably.
And yeah, and that weird part of us that just can't look away from a dumpster fire.
Oh, totally.
We all do it.
We can't help ourselves.
It's rubbernecking.
It's rubbernecking, but for the digital age.
Exactly.
So let's start with one that's just infamous for a reason. Logan Paul's Suicide Forest video from 2018.
Oh, boy.
Japan, a forest known for, well, suicide.
Unfortunately.
And Logan and his crew, they film a victim.
The insensitivity was unreal.
It was just staggering. And, you know, that video got over 6.3 million views before YouTube even took it down.
Yeah, the damage was done.
The damage was done. But what's so interesting to me is the financial hit that Logan Paul took.
Right.
An estimated $5 million in lost ad revenue.
Gone like that.
Gone, plus YouTube booting him from their premium advertising program.
Oh.
Right, that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal. It really shows that even in the wild west of the internet,
Anything goes.
there can be consequences.
There are still consequences,
Yeah.
major consequences sometimes.
$5 million is a pretty big whoops moment.
That is a massive whoops moment.
But it goes beyond just Logan Paul.
Oh, absolutely.
YouTube had to reevaluate its policies, especially around, how creators are making money and what they can get away with posting.
Exactly, Wild West was over.
It was like this collective oh crap moment for the entire platform.
Right, they realized they couldn't just let anything fly anymore.
Yeah, they had to step up.
Yeah, and they had to face the music.
It really highlighted the power of online outrage, right?
Yeah, it really did.
Before that, it felt like anything went.
Oh yeah, it was a free-for-all.
But then suddenly, YouTube was forced to take a more active role, trying to balance, free speech with basic human decency.
Which is a tough balance, let's be honest.
It's a tough balance. And speaking of questionable choices, let's talk about PewDiePie.
There we go.
So 2017, Felix Kjellberg, huge following, decides to sprinkle some anti-Semitic content into his videos.
Yeah, not a good look.
Not a good look.
Not a good look at all.
And the fallout was swift.
Oh yeah, Disney.
Disney, who had a partnership with him,
Big partnership.
they were like, nope, not touching that.
Yeah, they cut ties real quick.
And YouTube yanked him from their premium program too.
Another one bites the dust.
But here's where it gets interesting. PewDiePie lost an estimated $15 million in yearly revenue.
15 million.
Gone. Sponsorships vanished.
Oof.
It took a while for him to claw his way back.
So you had to do a lot of damage control.
$15 million. I mean, yeah, hate speech is bad, but that's a number that makes even me think twice about making an edgy joke online.
Right, it makes you think twice about what you put out there.
It really does.
And the potential consequences.
It's a stark reminder that freedom of speech has limits, especially when you have a platform as massive as PewDiePie's.
Exactly. You have a responsibility with that kind of reach.
This sparked a global debate about, where is the line? How much responsibility do these creators have?
And is YouTube doing enough to prevent this kind of content?
And was YouTube even doing enough to stop this in the first place?
Right. It's a huge debate that's still going on today.
Yeah, it's ongoing.
Yeah.
It's like on one hand, free speech. On the other hand, preventing the spread of harmful garbage.
It's a tough one.
Not a simple problem to solve.
Not at all.
Speaking of things that are tough to solve, have you ever noticed how YouTube's recommendations
Oh, the algorithm.
can go from how to bake a cake
To the earth is flat and the government is hiding aliens.
to the earth is flat and the government is hiding aliens in like 5 clicks?
It's a slippery slope.
It's a little freaky.
It is a little freaky.
Like a 2018 study found that around 70% of time spent on YouTube is driven by these recommendations.
Wow.
We're basically letting an algorithm curate our reality.
That's a little scary when you think about it.
It's a little terrifying, and it's not just these echo chambers, right? Researchers are calling them alternative influence networks.
Catchy.
Basically, you end up being influenced by creators who are promoting fringe or even harmful views.
It's a rabbit hole.
It really is. It raises the question, have you noticed YouTube getting more intense or controversial the longer you use it?
I think we all have.
It might not just be you.
It's definitely not just you.
Okay, well, that's enough existential dread for one day.
Let's move on.
Let's lighten the mood with a classic.
All right, let's do it.
The James Charles and Tati Westbrook explosion of 2019.
Oh, the drama.
Beauty YouTubers. Massive drama. Millions of subscribers. Lost the works.
This was peak influencer drama.
It really was.
Tati Westbrook, huge in the beauty world, posts this video accusing James Charles of, let's just say, inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, we don't have to get into the specifics.
And the internet just exploded.
It went nuclear.
It's crazy.
We're talking Charles losing over 3 million subscribers in just 48 hours.
Wow.
Westbrook's video got over 50 million views. That's more than some countries' populations.
It's insane.
This whole thing just became a case study in influencer culture.
It really is.
These parasocial relationships where fans feel like they know these people.
Right.
The speed at which drama spreads online.
It's lightning fast.
It was fascinating and a little terrifying.
Definitely a bit of both.
It went from makeup tutorials to a full-blown ethical debate about the pressures of influencer fame.
Yeah, and how little we actually know about these people.
And how little we actually know about the people we're watching online.
It's a good point.
Definitely made me rethink who I follow and how much I trust what I see online.
Me too.
Speaking of trust YouTube's content moderation.
Oh boy.
It's been a constant struggle, right?
It has been a struggle.
They're accused of inconsistent policies, not doing enough to combat harassment and hate speech.
It's like they're playing whack-a-mole with the worst of the internet.
It really is.
Trying to keep up with all the bad stuff.
So in 2020 alone, YouTube took down over 11.4 million videos.
Wow.
81% of those were flagged by AI, not human reviewers.
So robots are making the decisions.
Less than 3% were actually reviewed by a person.
That's a little concerning.
It makes you wonder how they can possibly keep up.
Right, and what are they missing?
And it also makes you wonder what kind of crazy stuff they're not catching.
Exactly, the stuff that slips through the cracks.
It highlights this tension between free speech and protecting users.
It's a tough balance to strike.
This constant battle, and it's not easy to find the right balance.
Not at all.
All right, before we go down that rabbit hole, let's do a quick fire round of other YouTube controversies that, while maybe not as infamous, definitely made waves.
Okay, let's do it.
First up, Tanamongo's TanaCon.
Oh, TanaCon, the fire festival of the YouTube world.
It really was.
It was supposed to be this massive fan convention rivaling VidCon.
Oh, yeah.
But
it fell apart.
It turned into a logistical nightmare.
It really did. Overcrowding, lack of organization, safety concerns.
It was a mess.
A total disaster.
Yeah, and it became this huge lesson in creator responsibility. You got this massive online following, you promised them this amazing event, and then
it implodes.
It all falls apart.
Yeah, it was a harsh reality check for a lot of creators.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly they had to think about things like liability, event management, and the very real consequences of overpromising and underdelivering.
And the fans were left high and dry.
Totally.
Good.
All right, next up we've got the KSI versus Logan Paul boxing match.
Oh yeah, this one.
2 YouTubers stepping into the ring, millions of people watching.
It was huge.
It was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah. For better or for worse.
So better or for worse?
It was definitely a turning point.
It really was.
On the one hand, it was entertaining. It generated a lot of buzz.
Shit.
And it showed the sheer reach and influence these creators had.
Oh, yeah.
But it also sparked a lot of debate about, glorifying violence, the responsibility these influencers have to their young audiences.
I remember thinking, is this what we've come to?
Exactly.
YouTubers settling their beef in a boxing ring.
It felt very 2018.
It felt like a weird crossover episode of the internet and real life.
Right, blurring the lines.
And it blurred the lines in a way that we're still grappling with today.
Oh, absolutely.
Where does online entertainment end and real-world responsibility begin?
It's a question that's become even more relevant as influencers become more and more powerful.
And they're only getting more powerful.
It's true.
Speaking of blurring lines,
yeah,
let's talk about the flat earth debate.
Oh boy.
I mean, seriously, people still believe this.
It's wild.
It's wild, isn't it?
But it highlights a really important issue.
Okay.
the spread of misinformation on YouTube.
Right.
The platform has become a breeding ground for conspiracy theories.
It really has.
And it's raised a lot of concerns about its role in shaping public discourse.
It's like, how do you combat something like that? You've got freedom of speech on one side, and on the other, you've got people spreading potentially harmful falsehoods to millions of viewers.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
YouTube has tried to crack down on it, tweaking their algorithms, flagging certain types of content. Right.
But it's a constant game of cat and mouse.
It feels that way.
And it just underscores the importance of critical thinking.
Yes.
Especially in the age of online information overload.
We're bombarded with information constantly.
It's true. You have to be careful what you believe.
Okay, last but not least, in our rapid fire round, we've got the apocalypse.
Ooh, the apocalypse.
A very dramatic name for a very real issue.
Yeah.
So basically, advertisers freaked out about their ads appearing next to controversial content.
Oh, yeah.
And started pulling out en masse.
They were not happy.
It was a wake-up call for both YouTube and creators.
Huge wake-up call.
Suddenly, the financial stability of the entire platform was in question.
Yeah, things got real.
Creators were losing revenue. YouTube was scrambling to appease advertisers.
It was chaos.
And it led to a lot of soul-searching about the relationship between creative freedom and corporate interests.
Right. Who has the power?
Exactly. There's like this huge power struggle.
Yeah. Creators wanting to make content without censorship, advertisers wanting to protect their brands, and YouTube stuck in the middle trying to make everyone happy.
And nobody was happy.
Nobody was happy. It really exposed the vulnerability of the creator economy.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of creators realized that their livelihoods were dependent on the whims of advertisers and the policies of a platform they didn't control.
Right. It was a harsh reality check.
It was a reminder that even in the wild west of the internet, there were still gatekeepers.
Always gatekeepers.
And it sparked a lot of debate about how to create a more sustainable and equitable system for creators.
A debate that's still going on today.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From suicide forests to boxing rings to the flat-out denial of basic science, YouTube has definitely seen its share of controversy.
Oh, yeah.
And as we said at the beginning, these controversies aren't just about entertainment.
Right.
They're reflections of deeper societal issues, of the power dynamics at play in the digital age, and of the challenges we face in navigating this constantly evolving online world.
It's a lot to unpack.
It's like looking at a funhouse mirror. But instead of distorted reflections, we're seeing distorted versions of our own culture, anxieties and values playing out on this massive digital stage.
It's a fascinating and sometimes disturbing reflection.
It really is. And that's what makes these controversies so fascinating and, honestly, a little unsettling.
It's true.
Because they force us to confront uncomfortable questions about ourselves, about our relationship with technology, and about the kind of future we're creating.
It's a lot to think about.
It is a lot to think about.
But it's important to think about these things.
Right. It's not just about YouTube.
It's about us.
It's about us. And it's a reminder that we're not just passive consumers of this content.
Right.
We're active participants, and we have a responsibility to engage with it critically, thoughtfully, and ethically.
We have a choice in how we engage.
We can choose what content we support. We can hold creators and platforms accountable, and we can use our voices to advocate for a more responsible and inclusive digital landscape.
We have more power than we realize.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired, but also a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Can we take a deep breath before we dive into the last part of our deep dive?
Sure, let's take a moment.
I need a moment to process all of this.
We'll be right back after a quick message from our sponsors.
And remember, you can find some amazing offers in the links below.
Don't miss out.
Okay, we're back, and I don't know about you, but my head is spinning a little bit.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
A lot of ground.
A lot of digital drama.
But I think the biggest takeaway for me is just how much all of this reflects,
who we are.
Who we are as a society.
Yeah.
Like YouTube, it's like this giant, constantly updating mirror reflecting back
Like our best.
our best and worst impulses.
Yeah, the good, the bad, the ugly, it's all there.
It's all there. It's like we're collectively writing this, messy, chaotic
And sometimes brilliant.
story of humanity, one upload at a time.
I like that. Yeah, it's like a collaborative story we're all writing together.
And as with any good story, you've got heroes, you've got villains, you've got plot twists, you've got cliffhangers.
But in the end, it's up to us, the audience, to decide how the story ends.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So as we close out this episode, what are some key things you hope our listeners will take away from all of this?
Well, I think the most important thing to remember is that behind every viral video every trending hashtag, every controversy, there are real people.
Right.
Real people with feelings, families, lives that extend far beyond the screen.
It's so easy to forget that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
We get caught up in, the drama, the memes, the hot takes,
The outrage.
and we lose sight of the human impact.
We dehumanize people online.
Totally. And that's why it's so crucial to approach these online spaces with, empathy, a healthy dose of skepticism.
Yeah, don't believe everything you see.
Just because something's trending doesn't mean it's true. Just because someone has millions of followers doesn't mean they're always right.
Right. Be critical, be discerning.
Be a critical thinker. Be a discerning consumer of information.
And a responsible digital citizen.
Exactly. It's not just about entertainment.
Right.
It's about understanding the power these platforms have and using that awareness to make informed choices.
We have more power than we realize.
We really do.
Yeah.
We have a responsibility to hold creators and platforms accountable,
Yeah.
to speak out against hate and misinformation.
And to support creators who are using their platforms for good.
And we can choose to engage in a way that is, respectful, constructive, and mindful of the impact our words and actions can have.
Yeah, words matter.
It's not always easy though, right?
No, it's not.
Especially when the internet can feel like this giant echo chamber of negativity.
It's true.
But remember, you have the power to choose what you amplify,
Right.
what you engage with, and what kind of online world you want to
Yeah,
create.
your choices matter.
So we've talked about the dark side of YouTube,
Yeah.
the controversies, the challenges.
The drama.
What about the good stuff?
Right.
What makes you hopeful about the future of online content creation?
Well, there's so much potential.
There is.
We're seeing creators use their platforms to educate, to inspire, to connect with people all over the world, to give a voice to those who have traditionally been marginalized.
I love seeing that.
It's really inspiring.
It's amazing to see how YouTube can be a force for positive change.
Absolutely.
Whether it's, raising awareness about important issues, promoting diversity and inclusion, or simply bringing joy and laughter to people's lives.
It's all valuable.
It is. And I think the more we engage with that kind of content, the more we support creators who are using their platforms responsibly and ethically, the brighter the future of online content creation will be.
I agree. The future is in our hands.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've officially reached the end of our deep dive.
We did it.
We laughed, we cried,
Maybe even learned a thing or two.
maybe even learned a thing or two. We
Yeah.
questioned everything we thought we knew about the internet.
It was a wild ride.
It was. And before we sign off, one last reminder to check out all the amazing offers in the links below.
Don't miss out.
You won't regret it. And be sure to join us next time for another deep dive into the fascinating, ever-evolving world of digital culture.
We'll see you then.
Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged.
Be the change you want to see.
We'll see you next time.